CSL Leesburg. So, for the year 2025, we've been exploring this theme, rising higher, growing deeper. And that has definitely come through each month when we have our focus. And our focus for the month of September is transcendent purpose. The title of our talk today is Elevation of Awareness, and it will be given by our wonderful Reverend Charlene. We're so glad that you took some time out of your day to join us. If you have any prayer concerns or celebrations, please be sure to add those in the chat section, and Reverend Charlene will be sure to include that when she does our prayer, which follows our message, and we call our prayer spiritual mind treatment. It's a form of affirmative prayer, and we'd love to hear from you. If you have any concerns or celebrations, we'll include those at this time. All right, folks, that's all I have to say to get things going. Sit back, you made it, take a deep breath, and enjoy our welcoming video. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be of service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is. All right, and so it is. And now it's time for the meditation. So I shared with Charlene when I signed on this morning, I have this meditation I've been wanting to do, and today's the day I'm going to do it. And then I looked at the title of our talk, Elevation of Awareness, and I went, would you look at that? It just fits exactly. So this meditation is called the Breath of Life meditation, and its purpose is to balance or shift your vibration by bringing the focus of your consciousness back to your true self. Or I could put it this way, the elevation of awareness. Are you ready? All right, sit back in your chair and just notice if you have any stress anywhere in your body, any tension, and just try to bring your focus to that first before we even begin, and just relax. We do so much during the week, we're so busy, but meditation is the sacred pause. It's where we say, okay, engine, I can't run you constantly. I can't run you all the time. I need to give you rest. And that's what we do when we meditate. We sink in a little deeper. So I'm going to give you a choice of an affirmation to use during this meditation. And I would like you to pick one of these and jot it down if you need to, or just really hang on to it, because we're going to use this. And the first meditation, your first choice is, I love myself. Got it? Here's another one for you to consider. I trust myself. Your third choice, I honor myself. And the last choice is, I value myself. And initially when you hear these, you might think, well, they're all the same. No. Listen to those verbs. I love myself. I trust myself. I honor myself. I value myself. All right, did you pick one of those? I can hear you saying yes. Yes, you did. All right, this is what we're going to do with that affirmation that you selected. So we're going to say it 3 times. And I'm going to give you time to do this, and I'm going to stay silent so that you're using your affirmation and I'm using mine. And then I'm going to ask you some questions, and they're going to go like this. I want you to know these questions beforehand. As you said that affirmation, where did you feel it? Where does it really resonate in your body? Okay? When you say it, and you might even say, oh, I said it, but boy, I felt resistance. I felt resistance in my heart. I didn't really believe it. I felt resistance in my mind. I didn't really think that these words are true. I felt resistance in my throat or in my body. And notice, is that resistance strong or is it weak? Or did it just really sink in and just settle in and it felt good? But those are the questions that are going to follow this. So saying the affirmation that you selected to yourself 3 times. Here we go. 1. 2. 3. All right. How did that feel? Did you feel resistance anywhere in your body? Did it feel strong? Did it feel weak? Did it just settle in? Because maybe you've been doing your spiritual work and this felt true to me. So we have a couple different reactions to how you felt. Where was your awareness? Where was your consciousness when you were saying that affirmation? Now we're going to do the breath of life. So what you're going to do is you're going to breathe in. I'm going to count for 7 seconds. You're going to hold for 3 seconds, and then you're going to exhale. And here's the power part of this. As you exhale, I want you to send that power as you exhale to your heart. Breathing in 7, hold 3, exhale, and send that energy, send that power to your heart. Here we go. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hold, 2, 3, exhale, and send that power of the exhale to your heart. Again, breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hold, 1, 2, exhale, send that energy to your heart. Again, breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hold, 1, 2, exhale, send that energy to your heart. One last time, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. 2, 3. Exhale. Send that energy strongly to your heart. Now, say that affirmation again. Say it 3 times, and let's see if it feels different. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Did you feel a difference? I'm curious. Were you able to elevate your awareness? You can let me know in the chat. All right, that's our meditation for today, the breath of life. And while you're writing in your chat or while you're just sitting in that peaceful moment, let's enjoy the music of Soul Pajamas.
Okay. All right. Morning, darlings. Um, so to reach this higher level, this transcendence we all strive and long for, you do need regular spiritual practices. And in religious science, the spiritual mind treatment is really the anchor, and in it are 5 steps, which either you already know, many of you, or you were just really learning to practice in the classes. So this is a beautiful song by Jan Garrett and J.D. Martin about it's a spiritual mind treatment. And so while you're listening to it, see if you can find the 5 steps. They're not. This is a song, so it's not completely linear. But I think you'll find them and feel them. It's really a gorgeous song. When I sing it, I feel the whole deal. This is what I know. We are all connected. The universe reflected in each shining part. And everywhere I go, I recognize the faces. All of my relations in this one heart. All I need is already looking through these eyes. Nearer than my breathing, closer than hands and feet. We are dreaming together all the gifts of heaven and earth. And so I receive all I can be. Now I let it go with such appreciation, with sheer exhilaration. Now I set it free, and so it is, and so be it. When I sing it, I can see it. I welcome us in, and now we begin. Amen. 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 This is what I know.
Woo! Amazing. I could have done with 2 or 3 more rounds of that. That's beautiful. Thank you, Dan and Aaron and Tamara. Thank you for that. That meditation. It was so good. And I was so tickled when you said that you were gonna do the breath of life. Because here's the deal. Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's go. Yeah. here's the deal about the breath. I was just listening to Reverend Michael, as I do on my Sunday morning ritual. I always listen to something from him, and he takes you through a meditation that has you breathe in, and then he makes you take another. You think you've filled your lungs? One more sip, and then he'll have you hold it. I would like to say too long because, oh my God, I'm going to explode. And then you exhale. When he goes, when I clap, I want you to amplify it times 10. So we would have said, I am love. Or mine was, I trust myself, because that's my big thing, right? So multiply times 10. And then what he was saying and what reminded me of what you were doing, he said that you're taking your nervous system and moving it from the one that's reactive and terrified and in a fight or flight survival mode, and you're changing it to the mode that is higher. I can't remember if, I think it's the sympathetic versus the parasympathetic. And of course, I can't remember which is which. I hold on to these details lightly, but I think the heart of it is always, for my life, and I don't know about your life, would you say that the heart of spiritual growth has always come back to the breath, number one? Because every tradition has a breathing mantra, exercise. Sometimes it's through one nostril, through the other nostril. There are whole breathing worlds you can get lost in. It's to change our entire awareness so that it's elevated to the truth of who we really are. So that's the purpose of focusing on the breath. And the other thing that I know about this, and that Tamara reminded all of us, is you're breathing right now. You're not breathing tomorrow's breath today. You're not paying the breath early, and you're not paying taxes on the breath that you took 2 days ago. This is how you get present. And that's my other thing that keeps coming back to me. I'm always getting messages like, Shar, where is your mind? Where is your consciousness? Is it in the future with anxiety? Is it in the past with regret? And how is that serving this very moment, which is the only moment that you have? And it is the moment from which all your future moments will unfold. What are we really building here right now, Shar? From what energy are we building it? And that's what I keep calling in, because every message that has ever gotten my attention was either about meditating, taking that moment, and then because meditation grounds us with our breath, but then throughout my day, I get to remind myself, ooh, be where your feet are, be where your feet are, be where your breath is, be here, be now, because I don't want to miss the rest of my life. I don't want to miss it. I don't know how long that is, and I definitely don't want to miss it. And I could go into and in the past, I probably missed it. Again, got to stay current, got to stay present. And that's what this teaching is. Now, there's a bit of a third thing. And this came to me once through Renee S., who was doing the fundraiser of getting with your Akashic records, or if that doesn't really resonate because that's not part of your understanding of spirituality, how about getting with your higher self and understanding from another point of view who you are and what you're about? What are you doing? What is this life anyway? So getting another perspective, and she's very gifted at that. So I sat with her, and of course she had started this thing about, she goes, yeah, they're saying that you have not necessarily blinders, but you have a limited view. And they are saying, this is how Renee talks, because she talks to people who say things, and they're plural. They say things, and I'm with it all 100%. It's not weird at all, but hey, you do you. I'm like, what else are they saying? She said, and they say that this serves you in a way that you can't really see everything, because if you saw everything, then maybe you're not ready for it, but they're yours to remove. You can ask, can I see a little more? And they'll remove it and you'll see a little more when you're ready. I mean, it's all up to you, Shar. We're here for you. We love you, says my peeps, who Renee is talking directly to, which is wild to me. And it's right on the nose. And so as I'm looking through this actual outline that was provided by our beautiful center home office, I see something about removing the blinders. And I start to realize that as I'm looking through their paragraph, which I will never read to you word for word, but they're talking about learning and developing and growing through our spiritual practices, that we start to see more clearly what is ours to do, as if blinders are being removed. And I start to go, so hold up, hold up. So I'm breathing, and when I get in distress, I do definitely go back to my practices. So the breathing, the meditation, and the mindfulness, which brings me to the present moment. And then as I do that more and more often, it is a practice. Then I remember to stay present in my life. And guess what? This says you might have to pivot what you're doing. And of course, oh, here's Chantel. Of course, I pivot often. You've seen me pivot. I pivot like a boxer who has to dodge a punch. Whoa. And I guess I'm used to that, but it looks like this is how it all blends together. So if we're breathing, when we get concerned, we've got a spiritual practice and we know we're on the right path. And we'll be in line and attuned to our own highest intention for us. And then when we get the whiff of, ooh, this is probably not working out, what else is on the horizon that I can do? That's our pivot. And anybody that has known me in the last couple of years, I've had to pivot business-wise several different times where I think that's what I'm going for. Whoops, that's not for me. Pivot. Okay, this is what I'm going for. Lots of accolades, but there's something else I need to do. And then let's go that way. Not quite right. Let's back up and go this other way. You've seen me do it if you've hung out with me on the other side of my life, which is tech and AI and all that. And that's fine. But what brought this home is the fact that right here in paragraph number 1 of today's talk outline, it's those blinders that Renee S. told me about that I won't necessarily know that they're there unless I ask for things to be revealed. And so what was revealed to me is that those blinders were serving a purpose. I needed to be hyper focused on a thing so I could get to a bigger vision, and then more is revealed to me and I go, oh, huh. So I scaled that mountain, but at the top of this mountain, I see this is the wrong mountain. I'm not meant to be a primary government contractor directly working and seeking and sitting down with all the subcontractors, all the paperwork. Thank goodness I was not setting my whole professional income consulting base on the fact that I'm a minority and woman-owned business. Hello, killing of the DEI from last year. So thank goodness I didn't hang my hat on that little nugget. Because that chick is gone. So I was like, what a gift. So pivot. So then I see from the mountaintop that I'm currently on, I could see why I climbed it. I could see why I climbed it. Because without that little carrot, like the donkey, that you have to get him to go up the hill, so you put a carrot in front of its nose, and it's like, I'm going to trudge along, and it's hard, but that's fine because there's a carrot. And I walked up that mountain, got to the top, and it turns out that was a plastic carrot, and this is the wrong mountain. But I would not have gotten to the top of the mountain if that wasn't there. So shout out to every single person who made me think that that was what I wanted. Because only from that point of view could I really see, oh, wow. So what I'm meant to do is over there. Good. So now I've got the chops. I know how to climb mountains. I have the funding because I was smart enough to leverage that. I was smart enough to leverage that certification for something. Hello, small business loans. And then I trudge right on over to the other mountain where, yay, everybody's like, woohoo, here's some awards. And then I'm thinking, this is the mountain upon which I'll sit. And then they were like, oh, yeah, so this is not a camping ground. You got to keep it moving. What? Yeah, you can't camp out. This is a way station, ma'am. Keep it moving. I'm like, well, where am I supposed to go? I thought maybe just being on stage and talking to people and getting a lot of attention. No, that's not what we're doing. Okay, back to the drawing board. Well, what am I good at? Now, I want to tell you something. We've got to follow our interest because in the next thing, of course, CSL on this outline says right there, topic number 2, sprouting and budding. You got to follow. They didn't call it golden breadcrumbs because they're not me. They're calling every one of these little divinely inspired thoughts, they're calling them seeds. And then you plant them and just follow them and you'll figure it out. It says here, listening to spirit and acting on the inner messages we receive is akin to planting seeds in our garden. Each little nudge of guidance is a seed that requires us to act upon it. Now, me, I would have said, oh, each little glowing breadcrumb is like, come over here. This is the way we're going up the next mountain. Come on, this is the way. But I like it. I'll take it either way because it's trusting your inner guidance and following that which lights you up. Follow the thing that lights you up because you're here with a specific, like Liam Neeson, you got a special set of skills. You have a specific set of skills. Only you can do a particular blend of you that the universe needs right now. How do I know? Because you're here right now and you're listening right now. You have something to share and you have a take on it that no one else has. Follow that. And so then when I did that, I followed that. Then sure enough, the things that excited me are also exciting to some, and they don't have to be exciting to everyone. That's not how this works. We don't get to decide the scope of the impact that we're going to have. And we don't get to say, oh, I'm not going to do that thing because I only got 1 thumbs up on my video or whatever. No, no, no. Our job is to do with sincerity that which we're led to do and nothing other than that. So do you hear how when you do get the heck yes energy, go this way, do you know how easy it is to say no to all those other directions? And we don't even have to be apologetic. It's just, no thanks. I'm over here doing this. And if you'd like to join me, we're over here. Dial in on Thursday. Let's go. But it doesn't have to be an either or. We get to do what we're here to do without making those other choices bad. Because then we get caught up in the whole pendulum of it all, and that's no fun. So we get these nudges, and we get a nudge about what to do next. And then when we pause, and then we listen, and then we pivot, we will then be possibly shown more. More of those blinders will come off. And then you'll say, well, of course, this is where I was supposed to be. And then we'll look back and say, well, thank goodness that that person came into my life long enough to put me on the trail and make sure I was on it. And then they dipped. I haven't seen some people since then. These people that had me start on a particular, where are they? I mean, I'm sure they exist. And if I reach out, it would be fine. But they came in, played a role for a reason or a season, as they say. And then as I'm happily trotting along, where'd they go? Wish them well. Keep going. So all of this is about transcendence, and we're talking about lifting off. And so at the risk of torturing this whole story with yet another metaphor, I'm going to go for it. You know how rockets provide fuel to counteract gravity? And there's a point where the rocket fuel provides enough blast that it lifts up out of the atmosphere far enough and long enough. That blast has to last long enough to reach what we call escape velocity, where we can escape the gravity in our atmosphere that's pulling everything back down to Earth, and we start to free flow. Now, in our notes here, which I'm faithfully following this week, you'd be proud, CSL, you'd be proud of me. Liftoff is what this final section is called. The final area of discussion today is about lifting off. And so if we are on a spiritual path, we're trying to grow into who we really are, transcend the mundane, leave the gravity of current events, nasty attitudes, negative points of view, all the things that we seek to transcend. Now, we're not saying deny that it's there. It's probably there for a reason, but we don't have to live there. We want to transcend. We want to lift off. We want to leave that gravitational pull of mediocrity and negative self-talk and all of those things that came up in the first part of our meditation, where Tamara took us through for me, I trust myself 3 times. And then part of me like, really, do I? I also doubt myself. That's what came up for me. And then with the breath that we breathe to clear out that gravity of the negative and the learned habits and all of the zeitgeist that is telling us, you're not good enough, you're not whatever enough, or there is not enough. All of that is cleaned out through that breath of fire, the breath of life, the breath of fire to burn all of the I don't know, to burn all of the negativity and to provide that catalyst that makes that fuel, that is that rocket that lets our spirits soar so we can start to really believe. I trust myself. I trust myself. And just knowing that to be true rather than hoping that it might be true, it's a whole different game now. Because when we change our energy and we change our belief about ourselves, then we get to move from a level of I know instead of I hope. I know this to be true. And it's the elevated awareness that we get to see from a God's eye view, if you will allow it. So if we were to lift off from the mundanity and the mediocrity and all of the negativity that exists on the plane of human condition, and we transcend that and rise up higher, then we can look back and say, I mean, of course, that's how we felt because that's where we were believing about ourselves. We believed all of those things about ourselves. We transcend to our divine truth. And now with this understanding, it's totally worth it. It's totally worth having spent all that time on rocket fuel chemistry, on creating that mixture that creates that blast off that puts us out of the mundane and into the divine. And then the trick is staying there. It is always, it's a bit of a back and forth, but that's part of the human existence. But when we do reach this liftoff moment where we're understanding our truth and we're continuing to soar, and now I'm going to riff on it. Tell me if this is too far, but I feel like the rocket ships I see, with the rockets that lift off the payload from the Earth's atmosphere, they reach escape velocity. And now in the movies, you see it, Sandra Bullock with her hair floating around. Why? Zero gravity. Yay. Well, zero gravity is good for a little bit, but it's really tough to go in a particular direction if you're just floating based on inertia. Like, it's hard to get a projection and go in a particular direction. So what do when you're on that rocket ship? Again, to torture the metaphor one final time, you've got to have something, some little bursts of energy that will help you push off. Now, sometimes it's those little jet packs. You got your little EVA suits where you could just and then you see, and if you watch Wall-E, it could be a fire hydrant. It could one of those. What is the you fire extinguisher you need to provide some sort of propulsion. You need to be able to push. And in my mind, what happens is people have to piss you off. People have to piss you off. And then you're like, oh, really? Really? Oh, you think I'm not? What did you say about me? And that could be the propulsive mechanism to get you out of your inertia. It could do it. It did it for me. I know that I told this story 2 weeks ago, but yeah, I mean, and it happened again. And now I'm looking for it. What am I talking about? What's it? What is the thing that happened again? Well, I have a habit. It's a nasty habit of reading the reviews after I give a class. Why? Why do I do it? I don't know, Tamara. I'm shaking my head too, because there I was after coming off a beautiful class where everybody's like, yay, one guy, here he is. And I know it's a man. It is a man. Trust me when I tell you that those words, like I remember 2 weeks ago, I told you, oh yeah, she seemed inebriated. This guy said, trust me, I'm using it as my propulsion. Don't worry, it worked out. But he goes, she's too cutesy. She's much too cutesy. And something else about how every example I had was about social media, and it wasn't really a business-like conversation that we had there for those 2 days, where everybody else was like, 5 out of 5, if I could give her 10, I would do that. So I'm like, huh. And again, it hit me, and I'm like, why? Why can't I shake this? And I'll let you in on something. On that same day that I read this review, I was in a whole new class teaching something, and it was all going wrong. And it wasn't my fault. Thank God it wasn't my fault. But the labs weren't working because reasons, okay? So now I'm feeling like, oh no, this new company is going to be madder than a hornet that's disturbed, and it's coming off the heels of that one guy from the previous. So it started to coagulate, it started to come together again and try to get me. And I thought, I'm going to shake it off. I'm just going to use this as propulsion. And then I realized I can't do this by myself. So I had to spin up Dan's song. I had to do it. And I'm the that's a little sister. And I'm like, okay, that's still into it. I mean, it got me a little bit there, but it didn't do it all the way. And so I sat down to my AI and I said, all right, I'm gonna need you to write me a letter from me to me. I mean, you did a great job when you wrote the song lyrics from me to me. And Dan and Aaron are gonna sing this at the end. But I just want you to know that I also needed a whole letter. And I said what I was going through. I'm like, people said things about my teaching, and I mean, and then of course it came through, and I put it on LinkedIn, and man, that's when I get all the engagement. When I just show my belly, okay, fine, universe, if that's what we're doing. The humility, I got you. But here's what it said pretty much. Of course, they're not all gonna like you. That's just reality. And, a lot of people have lots of things to say when they're not the ones doing what you're doing. This is hard. It's difficult. You're teaching technical topics to regular people, and you're trying to explain complex topics in a way that's engaging. It's easy to criticize this. You try it. Is kind of the energy I got. I was like, yeah, that person wouldn't try it. They're sitting in the comfort of their little chair typing and mean things. Huh. And then it said something else like, yeah, that's supposed to be how it works, that there will be some people that don't like it. That's just math. So remember to focus on those that are touched by it, those that feel it, because that's who you're here for. And we let these other people go, and we focus on those people who stay. And I thought, oh, that's right. That's right. And I felt fine. Like, why is it that it's so easy for the gravity of the negative, to just pull down that object that's flying high? And I think we're meant to share these moments, because I'm telling you that the song that Dan wrote that ignites my spirit, and then that little letter, when I shared that with people, we're supposed to connect with each other. And if we're all perfect, well, where's the grabby part? Where's the grabby? Like, if I'm perfect and you're perfect, we'll there'll be no friction to connect us. And so we need a little bit of negativity. We're going to need a little bit of, somebody needs to get under your skin, and then you'll have that feeling, and then you will share what made you feel better so that other people can support you feeling better. I would recommend too that while you're feeling bad, share it with just a few people so that you're not spreading the negativity. You're spreading the overcoming of said negativity. And it's what we're here for. It's why we were created, to find each other, to love each other, and to expand that, and to get through difficult times together. That's why. That's why we're here. So I hope you took something from that. I am going to jump right into some prayer right now. Let me check for absolutely, Tamara. We have to feel uncomfortable first in order to change. Absolutely right. So let's drop into that space that we breathed into earlier in the meditation time. And let's just know that right here, right now is the divine presence and that we are already whole, perfect, and complete. And that many times it's just us getting our bloated nothingness out of the way so that spirit can have its way with us. And that is exactly what I am speaking my word into for us today, that each and every one of us is more and more awake to our highest truth of who we are. We know that we are in love with the divine. The divine is in love with us as us, and that it is just a big union, a big unity. It's a consciousness of oneness. And that's where we live and have our beingness. It's just we are aware of it more and more, and that this work is becoming aware more and more of how we are one. So I speak my word that right now, right here, wherever there's any sense of lack, limitation, or anything that is perceived to be missing, that I speak my word that we turn our eyes inward and know that that is an illusion, and that what's really calling us is that our attention is on what we do have, what we do love, and who is in our lives. And that appreciation appreciates. It grows and it grows. And when we breathe in and know, I am love, I trust myself, and then we expand and we multiply that into our hearts, whew, we are creating that attraction, and we are creating that condition that life just unfolds in the highest way possible. And it happens every moment. And so I speak my word that as we close this spiritual mind treatment, that all is well. We are whole, perfect, and complete, and we get to share that with the world. I release my word, knowing it is already done, and so it is. Ashe. And now for the Soul Pajamas. They're going to sing my favorite song.
So I think that most of you have heard the AI version, and she was very impressive. But this is going to be the human version. Just us humans down here, folks. Can we get rid of that?
Yes. If I could find my. All right, unmuted.
Yes.
You ready for you? Hit this?
Ready? Yeah. Dear one, I see your fear, your tender ache. I know you're worried that the path won't hold. But I am the path. I am the you who made it through. You don't know how it ends, but you don't have to know. Take the next breath. You're not behind. You are not broken. You are blooming. Gather, got and pray. Going into the stars where they shine on you forever. Whenever you feel small, little sister, please remember, you and I are going strong. We've been at this thing forever, forever for so long. I've gathered your forgotten threads, woven them into the stars, where they shine for you forever. Whenever you feel small, listen to me, baby sister. You and I were always one, and at this thing forever, as we circle around the sun. You are mine, you are me, we are infinity. With all my love, your guardian angel, your highest self, Charlene.
Bravo.
Oh my gosh, how fun.
That's
Dan
fun.
and Aaron, you are a blessing. And Charlene, thank you for the inspiration, for that song. What a beautiful
Woohoo!
celebration and a wonderful message. Beautiful. All right, folks, now is the time that we go into our donations and we bless the gifts that we receive. Remember, what we do here is because of you. We do it for you, we do it with you, we do it because you support us. So there's so many ways that you can give. I'm sure if you're a regular attendee, you've found a way that works for you. And keep in mind, just like you heard that opening video, we believe in the law of circulation. So as you give, you shall receive. We give to our home office, which supplies the materials for our classes, which helps Charlene with the outline for the title of our talks and everything else that comes with that. But we also tithe, and we're always looking for organizations that match us, that match our vision of helping to create a world that works for everyone. Plus, the money that you give us helps us to do what we do on Sundays and everything else that we do to feed you spiritually. So when you go to a restaurant, you expect to pay the bill, right? The food's not free. And when you come to CSL, we're feeding you spiritually. And we thank you so much for the donations that you give us that make this all possible. All right, with all that being said, let's go into the blessing of our gifts. Join me. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I'm a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And so it is. All right, folks, announcements. So we've got so much coming up in the next couple weeks. So today is New Member Sunday, and we have some new members who are joining CSL, and we're going to make a special request for you. Please, 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 please stay after service. If you are joining us on Facebook, hop off Facebook. It's so easy. Go to our CSL website. Join us on the Zoom link because we want to hear you, especially if you are already an existing member. When we welcome our new members, we ask them to make a pledge of commitment to CSL Leesburg, and we, already the existing members, we make a pledge, a commitment to them, to honor them and to serve them and protect them on their spiritual journey. So that's going to be following our service. We want to do that after we stop the live feed for the special awareness of our new members. And also, next Sunday, mark your calendars. We're going to have a little party. It's our 11th anniversary of CSL Leesburg. So doesn't that call for a reason to celebrate? So we're going to plan some special things to honor our 11th year. And we want you to be here for that too. So that will be next Sunday. All right, folks, that's what I have. We're going to do our new members service. We might have a little time if you want to add your pearls, which anything that resonated you with the meditation, the message, or the music, we'll include that. But first, we'll do our new member Sunday. And we also have day 2 of our Mystic class that's going to happen at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So many things, so many things. We're clipping along. So many things are happening at CSL Leesburg, and we're so glad that you're part of the journey. All right, here we go. Let's put our hands over our heart. You heard this in the meditation. Maybe you picked this as your affirmation. I love myself. But let's do it one more time because it feels so good. Remind yourself and say it with me. I am love.
I
I
am
am
love.
Beautiful. All right, now think of someone who needs this message. It could be somebody in the room with you. It could be a little furry companion in the room with you. It could be anybody. Who needs this message right now? Who needs the reminder, you are loved? Let's send that out. You ready? You are loved.
You are loved.
You are love.
love.
Aaron, you're going to have to explain later why you're laughing. I want to hear that. I think it's Aaron. All right, next. Let's just put our hands up in the air. Just spread that sunshine, spread that loving kindness. Here we go. You ready? It's all love.
All love.
All
It's
love.
It is all love. All right, folks, you're not going anywhere. You're going to stay for our new member Sunday. And Charlene, I'm kicking it over to you. Here we go.
All righty, let me stop sharing. I mean, sorry, yeah, I have to stop sharing first of all.